said it. AshSaidIt.com. AshSaidIt.com. Baby babies. How y'all doing today? I hope that everyone is having a fantabulous Friday. It is a fantabulous day. In ATL, we are having temps in the 80s, y'all. It is 80 degrees in February. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. But, of course, you guys know that I don't come on to these recap shows without, of course, my partner in crime, Ro. What's good? Rochi Song.
Yeah, not much, man. Just hanging, just chilling. You know it.
Yeah, so, you guys, it's February the 24th, 2017, and of course, it's the day after the How to Get Away with Murder recap show, and we had our season finale last night. How do you feel about it, Ro?
Wow, it was so long.
Do
Wow.
you think
And
maybe. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it's okay. Just a lot of twists and turns in this one, but go ahead with your thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, did you feel like maybe it was a little unnecessary to make it 2 hours?
Yes, I definitely did. They could have did like a part one and then a part two type of thing. That would have been kind of cool. But I felt so hard to just like get in the zone, you know. But it was on. I was like, come on,
Yeah,
just
just,
get in there.
just
It's
get
hard.
there. Okay, so, from last week to this week, so we found out some more information from last week's episode, and that was that Connor seems like he was reviving Wes in that flashback in that preview for this week's episode. So I'll let you take the ranks with talking about the first episode of last night's finale.
Okay, Ash. Well, first off, we find out that Atwood has been fired. Yes, she has been fired.
I just didn't
Because
like her. I just didn't like her. She was just
like
mean. Oh.
she was just so jealous of our leading lady, Viola Davis.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, you find out she's been fired, and while she was on the stand, she claimed that she did not sign off on Wes being cremated. That's a little weird, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
That's a little strange. I don't know if I trust anything she got to say, because last week I was surprised that the doggone dean, or was it the president of the college, Atwood had got to her too. I'm still kind of disappointed in that, because I thought that she genuinely wanted to be Annalise's friend, but we come to find out that wasn't true.
Yeah, it's like, you can't trust anybody,
Mm-mm.
DTA, beast.
Mm-mm.
So, and also on the news, you also find out that Charles Mahoney is free. He is out of jail, and Mommy Dearest is out for blood, and
Yeah.
she is looking for the murderer of her husband, Mr. Mahoney. Now, I'd hate to be the person that actually killed him, right?
Okay. Mm-mm.
Yeah, poor Frank. So let's just skip on over that. Michaela actually blabbed out to everybody that Connor may have killed Wes. Now, you started to mention something about that, right? About the whole him trying to do CPR on Wes last week.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think that was in the preview from last week's episode. Is they showed Connor like doing the chest compressions on Wes. But they're
Right.
always leaving stuff out purposely.
Yeah, that's what they have to do, to keep
Mm-hmm.
us very into it, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. So, um, you flash off a little bit more. Connor and Thomas have a little physical time together, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
And then we learn that Connor basically, he used Thomas's phone so he could call his voice message. And he got a voice message from Annalise. And basically, he went over to the house. He went to Annalise's house. And that's where he found Wes. but Wes was knocked out in the basement. Since Wes was still pretty warm, his body was still pretty warm, he gave him CPR. But he seemed to have cracked a bone of some sort when he was doing it. So that was a little information that he kept from the group for a very, very long time.
Yeah, because CPR is one of those really, because I've taken CPR training myself, and it's one of those delicate procedures. Like, if you're not trained and you don't know exactly what you're doing, you could injure someone. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he was trained.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, so of course when Laurel heard that, she told him to go to hell. Actually, to kill himself. I just ad-libbed that a little bit. Yeah, sorry about that. So, of course, Annalise tells everybody that they should forgive him for what he did. And of course, Laurel's like, nah, I don't want to, basically.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, you know how she is, right?
Yeah. And it doesn't help that she's pregnant, so she's like hormonal and, you know, all in her feelings and stuff. And she was already annoying before. It's just making it worse.
Yeah, basically. So, we also learned that the ADA has a big file on Laurel. Who knows what could be on that? Stay tuned, kiddies.
Yeah, you know, Daddy Dearest got some tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah, she is like the most fearsome dad of all time. Like, he's really something else.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. So Nate happens to break into Atwood's car, and he looks into her GPS system, and he finds a New York address, and it happens to be the same address that Mahoney was at, and that was like the link that he was looking for.
Yeah.
So that was just like that's some spy stuff right there.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff.
I know. You know, Laurel's thinking about getting an abortion. You know, that's something she only has like a short window of time for her to be able to do that. Maybe like 48 hours, I think they said. But she also got it was while she was getting a sonogram of the baby. So it's like, I'm hearing the baby's heartbeat, but I'm also thinking about killing my baby. Huh, okay. Depressing as heck. So, sorry. While she was there, she talked to Maggie. I don't think you saw that part.
No, I missed that part. Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, she talked to Maggie, and Maggie was like, "Hey, you know, the group, you and your friends, no one would talk to me at Wes's funeral." And Laurel basically apologized for that. She was like, you know, sorry, we're just not in our right mind and everything. I thought that was like the only time I've seen her act kind of rational for a change, you know? Because she's been at everybody's throats lately.
Yeah, she been pretty much like cutting people off at the throat and just gut punching. So that's quite interesting that she was actually nice to Maggie, because if we remember several episodes back when she was in the hospital, she was not very open to Maggie.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. So, okay, so we also learned that Connor wanted to go on the stand, but they were like, no, Connor, you can't. But Laurel's going to go on the stand, which was an interesting move, actually. The coroner said that Wes's body only had smoke inhalation and no other damage to the body. So that's something to keep in mind about his body. So, you know, Laurel goes on the stand, and she tells them that she lied to the police, and she basically told the whole thing about told Connor's story. That, you know, found him, did the CPR, broke a bone, and everything. She told them that. And basically the ADA was like, "Hey, man, what about this? You know, Mexico City, did you or did you not fake your kidnapping?" Everybody's like, what are they talking about, Laurel?
Oh boy.
And she basically had to say, yeah, I did, you know, and it took her a while to say it too. Which is also kind of confusing because in the back she was just like, oh, you know, I really was kidnapped, but I had to say I wasn't for my father's sake. And that was just like confusing.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So, yes, for her father's sake. So, because of that, like, her testimony was thrown out of court.
Mm.
And, um, I can't remember the name. I put Dismal. That's not right.
No,
Um,
was it Dominique or something like that?
no, it's whatever the trial is called. The
Oh,
thing
Miss.
that they were trying to do for Annalise.
You talking about a mistrial?
Okay. Basically, what they were trying to do for Annalise was denied. Like, she might
Oh.
prison kind of thing. Yeah, I wrote it down wrong. Sorry. um, yes. So here's the juicy. I guess you could get the juicy of the juicy fruit. So basically, Connor goes to see the ADA, Mr. Sinclair, and he asks for Wes's immunity deal. And
Mm.
Connor, okay, so Connor was basically like, "Hey, I'm gonna tell that Laurel said my story, and just tell the truth, you know." And he was on the phone with, I want to say, Michaela, maybe Basher, and they were advising him against it, but he was already there. And
Mm.
that's when I think it was Asher. Yeah, Asher called. He called like this number. I can't what are it? Yeah, so he basically called a number, um, and it happened to be the ADA's burner phone. Did you see any of?
Mm. No, I think I missed that part, but yeah, I think somebody else was talking about that this morning on the briefing about that about the burner phone because they mentioned that later on.
Right.
Mm.
So, and of course, he picked up that phone, and then that's when the ADA caught him, and that's next thing you know, Connor's missing, and it's like, oh snap, you know, what did they do with Connor? And Bonnie was basically like, hey, ADA, what did you do with my homes, you know? And he was like, "Hey, I don't know what you talking about, honey. Why don't you take your sweet behind and get the heck out of here?" So yeah, she got nothing from him. Like I
Mm-mm.
like that guy. He's very good at acting coy. And of course,
Mm-mm.
also a good piece of the pie was Annalise meeting with Miss Mahoney. Now I know you saw
Yes, now that was definitely groundbreaking because I mean, I don't know if I would have been okay being in that restaurant because Annalise was about beside, she was about to smack the heck up out of that lady. She like, look, I know what you did. You didn't sit up there and took this life. I'm tired of all of this stuff. Let's just call a truce before somebody else gets hurt. I'm tired of all this, the games back and forth. You trying to protect your son. I'm sorry what happened with your husband. It had nothing to do with me. But Annalise was getting you. She would get mad. She would get mad. When she get real emotional like and she start tearing up, her eyes start getting red. It was like, ooh, something about to happen. Something about to happen. So that was very edgy and interesting because you're just watching it because the lady, Mahoney, wife or whatever, she looked like she could probably be one of the first women on the show to really challenge Annalise and really step up to the plate with
right.
her. So it was interesting to see that dynamic because we haven't really seen Annalise come face to face with someone else that is possibly on her level or maybe even higher. So to see them tag off in that restaurant was quite interesting because I was like, okay, who's going to strike first, and how much blood is going? be, dipped into and through that restaurant. So I was quite interested to see what was gonna happen. I was quite interested. So
You hide those big knives, right?
yeah, you want to put them things away, child. Put them away. Put them away. No butter knife, nothing. Do not give her a knife. So that was quite interesting. And then, we're seeing Connor, everybody's trying to find Connor, trying to find Connor, trying to find Connor. And, they get into the DA or whatever, and they're like, look, we know you got him. And he's like, I don't know what y'all talking about. Everybody looking about Connor. I don't know where Connor is. Knowing good and well, he just as dirty as the rest of them. See, I thought that Atwood was the worst. But this finale has opened up the door and shown us that Atwood is not the worst. This DA, he got some personal stake in taking Annalise down. What exactly that is, I don't know. Because, of course, they only give us enough, just a taste of what it is. But he wants to take Annalise down bad. And so they were, threatening Connor and saying, oh, we'll give you this immunity deal if you sign it. But one thing with Connor, and I'm glad that it came out in his character, he's not a rat. He's not a rat. And he did not rat out on Annalise, which I'm glad that he did not. That shows a lot more about his character. And maybe he's not as cunning as we thought that maybe he appeared to us to have been. So I'm glad that he didn't rat out Annalise and the rest of the crew. But I'm sure it was definitely tempting, especially when they were like, look, we're going to plan all this stuff on you, and we're going to say that you killed Wes, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm glad that he didn't rat. He had the opportunity to. Now, Laurel, she just continuously, throughout the episode, just continues to unravel. It's just hard to watch because she's so obsessed with everything. And it came to a point where Annalise was like, look, I'm going to have to put Wes on the chopping block. Unfortunately, he's dead. I loved him like he was my own child. But at the same token, that voicemail, they were going to find that voicemail anyways. And then, Connor kind of screwed that up too. Because he opened up the gate and told about what Oliver was saving. And Oliver saved what? A copy of the phone information from Annalise's phone that night. So they knew exactly where to get it. And they knew that it was encrypted, and they knew how to unencrypt it. And from that, we get, okay, well, looks like they got the phone. And nobody knows what's on that phone but Annalise. And I don't know, maybe Oliver did know what was on the phone as well as far as the voicemail stuff goes and just didn't say nothing. That's to be seen. But anyways, on the voicemail, of course, you hear Wes basically incriminating himself indirectly. Like he was saying the words, and it made it appear that he had killed Sam and was it Rachel or Sarah? Rebecca. Yeah, I know it was something generic. Sorry for all the Rebeccas out there, but I knew it was something. Yeah, I know it was something along those lines. So let me be now. Anyways, so on the voicemail, it actually sounds like he's basically confessing to those murders, but we all know that he didn't. Well, he did kill Sam, but he didn't kill Rebecca. He did kill Sam. Yeah, he did. He did kill Sam, and he just still was very valiant in his delivery to Annalise and said, like, I'm not gonna let you go down for what I did. So knowing that was on the voicemail, knowing that they would be able to find it in the records, Annalise basically went down to the DA and was like, look, cut me a deal. I'll tell you what you need to know about what's on that voicemail. And they basically put Wes on the chopping block and put everything on him. Now, of course, Laurel is very emotional. She's pregnant. She's feeling all kinds of ways, and no one understands because, pregnant women go through it. I've known a lot of pregnant women in my day, and they all go through their own little stuff. And so it's a very trying time to get information to and from a woman that is pregnant because her mind is just not even hers anymore, basically. So they played off of that really well because she was just totally unraveled, like the whole episode. So she goes off and is like, no, I don't want you all to, taint his name, and y'all are horrible and whatever. And they're still going over the whole thing, how she loves him so much, and she didn't realize that she really loved him until it was too late. And so Annalise goes there with the deal. Of course, they give her the deal because they have no case against her now. Now, with that evidence, there's no case against Annalise. And Connor is free. And Annalise, she goes back to her house and she goes through all the roughage and she finds the picture of herself and Sam and their baby that had passed after birth. And it just goes to show you, she's still a human, she's still a person, and she still has feelings. Regardless of what people may think about her, she still has feelings, and there's still a special place in her heart where she's still hurting from losing that baby and now losing Wes, which she looked after him as if he was a son to her. And that was just heartbreaking. I'm like, please, y'all don't make her cry too much next season, okay? I'm all cried out, okay? Viola done gave us all the tears she got. Please. If any of the writers are listening, please do not have that woman crying. She didn't cry for enough this season. Please. She don't need to cry no more. No more crying. And do like Mary J. Blige. No more crying. But what was your take on some of the highlights of the episode of last night, Ro?
Well, there is a big reveal. We learn with the Mahonies when Annalise and Miss Mahoney were basically fighting at dinner. We learned that Wes is actually the son of Charles Mahoney, not whatever the father's name. The father, Charles Mahoney, whatever his name is. Yeah, like, that was pretty crazy. Because she did, like, a DNA test or some sort. And that's what they found out. But it's like, you never took care of your own. Like, pretty messed up. So I thought that was pretty crazy.
That was pretty interesting because the whole time we were all thinking the same thing. Oh, that was her, her illegitimate, kid, or, the husband stepped out on her and all these different things. And we didn't realize, oh, snap, this was her grandchild. So that was pretty out there. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. They're always good with these, these really big surprises. They're really good with that.
Yeah, and of course, towards the end, Laurel asked Michaela and asked her to help her out with a little something. And of course, them being the nice guys that they are, they decide to help her out. Well, she gets Michaela to basically flirt with Charles Mahoney at the bar and, try to just, not try to get with him, and eventually Michaela was like, yeah, he wants me to go up to his room, and she's like, yeah, well, go do it. She's like, I'm not gonna do it. It's like, just go, get up there. It's like, I'm gonna do it. And she's like, fine, I'll do it myself. And this chick got a G-U-N. She got a gun.
Yeah.
Like, what? And Michaela and Asher are trying to stop her. And then a guy that happens to be the PI that we saw, he was like, hey, how's it going? They're like, who's this guy? He's like, oh, it's my friend Dominique. And he's like, oh, I'm more than just a friend. That was kind of creepy when he said it like that.
Yeah, and then we also get a flashback, and we see Dominique meeting with the DA and giving the DA Wes's phone. And we see Dominique earlier on too. Tell us where else we saw Dominique.
No, I don't want to be the one to tell
you don't want to talk about it? You don't want to say it? All right, fine. I'll say it. All right, you guys. For everyone that's been watching this season, all right, and for the last couple of weeks, we've been wondering, who killed Wes? Who killed Wes? Dominic killed Wes. Dominic was in the house. And see, this is what I want to let this out to you, Ro. This is what really intrigued me with that whole thing afterwards. That really made me think, how did he... Okay, so we find out that Dominic is hired by Laurel's father. Now, if you remember early on in the season, the father found out about her and Frank and was like, Frank's a lowlife. I don't want you with this guy. He ain't no good. I found out where he is. Please stay away from him. And almost like he's making peace, but he also thought of Frank as being a lowlife and beneath his daughter and who he did not want her with. So I was like, okay, got that. Well, somehow, because she didn't tell him about Wes, he must have been spying on her again. And because of that, we find out that, obviously he didn't approve of their relationship or whatever the case is, and basically put a hit out on Wes. And who was the hitman? Our buddy Dominic. Now, Dominic comes up on the scene, and what intrigued me about this, Ro, was how the heck did Dominic know to be in the house that night? How did he know that Annalise was not going to be in the house? No one was going to be in the house, because they show on one scene when Nate is getting ready to leave, and he sees Wes, and he's getting ready to leave, and the DA actually called him. You see a leather glove sitting on the door of Annalise's office. I'm like, okay, how the heck did he get into that house? And how did he know where to, to navigate to? I don't know. I guess that's the mind of a serial killer or a killer or a hitman or whatever. But how did he know to be in there and to not be caught? There's any other time that he could have been in that house. Any other time. How did he know to be in that house at that time? That is what I'm sure we're going to find out next season. Because I'm like, okay, because what if Wes didn't get to that? What if Wes didn't get the message and he went home or something and Bonnie came to the house? Was he going to drug and kill Bonnie?
Probably. Like maybe, maybe he'll just attack the first person that he sees or something, I don't know. I mean, he is a hitman after all.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. So that really kind of irked me, because I was like, oh my God, like how the heck did he know to be there? That's the thing that really just like blew my mind.
Hey, what if he was even supposed to kill him? Do you ever think about that?
No, see, now you're turning the wheels in my head now. Like, who would he have been? Who do you think he might have been able to kill?
Frank?
No, but Frank was in jail, bro. No.
Oh. Wait,
No. You're right. No, because Frank was floating around, but Frank hadn't gone back to Annalise yet, remember? So he wouldn't have been at the house, because Annalise was still pretty pissed off at him at that time, remember? This is when Frank was kind of just like running the streets and trying to do for Annalise, because remember, he was supposed to keep an eye out because he lost. It's so crazy how everyone's connected to Wes that day, because remember, he lost Wes. So I don't think it would have been for Frank. And I don't think he would have tried to kill Annalise, but I don't know.
Wait, I'm sure he would have tried to kill Annalise. I mean, because it's, I don't know, maybe. If she got in the way, yeah, kill her off.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's too well timed. Like, how is that? That's just crazy. That's just crazy.
I mean, is there a way to tap into the phone lines or something, maybe?
Yeah, I'm sure he probably did some of that stuff too. I don't know. That just really had my mind thinking. I was like, but how did he know that? And it's more than just luck, because the time that he got Wes, I mean, like I said, there's so many different factors that should have been into play for Wes to get there and no one else. What if somebody was with Wes? Was he going to sit there and tag team both people? What if Laurel had got there with Wes? So it just, it just kind of gets my mind turning on some stuff. I'm like, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. So
yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it definitely gets my mind going, because I'm like, but how would he have known that Wes would have been there alone? What are the chances that Wes would have got there alone versus with people? So, I don't know. I thought that was awful strange.
Yes, very awfully strange.
Awfully strange. Quite different, I do say. I think I'm British sometimes, Ro. Do you think I'm British? No.
Oh, your name is British.
Is it? Is it? No, it's English. It is English. Ashley is English. It's an English name.
Yeah,
It is.
Same thing.
Totally, totally. So, what else did we? I mean, we touched on maybe the main stuff. What's the goofy one's name? I always forget him.
Asher?
Is it Asher? Yeah. Asher. So Asher tells Michaela, like in the middle of all this chaos, he's like professing his love for Michaela, and Michaela's like, I gotta leave. She's like, I gotta be right back. Like she couldn't, say the whole "I love you" thing because it's like it's too much going on, and we still don't know everything about Michaela's past. We still know that she didn't have a good family life or whatever, but we don't know everything about what actually happened to her. So it's difficult for her to express herself and express that love to someone. So it's quite interesting watching that unfold. Quite interesting.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So much.
Definitely. So, what is your takeaway from this season finale? Was it good, bad, indifferent?
Yeah, it was pretty good, I mean, don't forget about Nate, he got fired after he was yelling at the DA and everything.
But I think they put him back on though, right?
Where'd you get that from?
When they were at the end, when he was back in his suit and the DA and him were in the office with the judge. And remember when the DA was like, well, we got to drop the charges on Annalise because this voicemail coming forward, totally changes the whole case that we had against her. And Nate was with him. Yeah. Yeah, Nate was there. Nate was there because he was like, see, Mr. Leahy or whatever said that there was corruption and the case didn't look right and it wasn't right. And so I think he probably has his job back. The DA probably don't like it too much, but I'm fairly confident he's sitting up there in the judge's office with him. I'm pretty sure his job is there. Pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah. And don't forget that Oliver asked Connor to marry him.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. Oliver's just he's another one that's just like, it's either hot or cold. He don't have no middle ground. He's either hot or he's really cold, and he's just weird.
That song stuck in my head now. Thanks a lot.
So it was
Perry song, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. That was pretty.
Yeah, it looks like Frank's cool with Annalise now. He kind of bowed down on both knees and was like, "Anything you need, Annalise, I'm here for you."
Yeah, that was pretty. That was like, whoa. You're just sitting there like, wow, like that just really happened. Yeah, it did. It totally did. It totally did. So.
Now, if only he would grow back some of that hair, right?
I know. I want him back in a suit. I like Frank when he's suited up. He just looks so nice. I just like him when he's suited up.
Doesn't he look like a polished poodle? Yeah.
I like when Frank is suited up. I think he looks really good when he's suited up. So.
Well, how does that even work? I mean, he did go to jail, and he had that I don't remember. It was like a 7-year plea deal that they offered Frank if he said it was a love triangle gone wrong. If it was like he and Laurel killed Wes. Yeah. I mean, of course he didn't take it, but he's out of prison now, so that's cool.
Yeah, I think that was a good run.
But question though, how's he gonna be back into law and stuff? I mean, he did go to jail. Do they even do that?
I mean, I don't know how that works out. I guess we'll find out, sooner but later.
Oh. He's all like has hair and everything and suit.
Yeah. So, but overall, I think that this was a good season ender, I will say, and things have definitely worked out in a very strange way, I will say. But there's still some unanswered questions, and honestly, Ro, I'm just gonna put it out there because I'm just feeling some type of way. I feel like there's still a possibility that Wes is not dead. I'm sorry, there's no body. I feel like there's a possibility. I feel like there's a possibility that Wes is not dead. I totally feel that way. I don't know. Maybe there's a cover up. I don't know. I think it's gonna be one of those storylines that just randomly comes up on us, and it's just like, oh yeah, randomly they're gonna be going somewhere, and like, oh, it's Wes. Oh, Wes, I thought you were dead. So I don't know. So, I just feel like they're leaving the door open because, like I said, there was no body, and this is not a Vibes Cartel situation. So I need for them to just be honest and keep it real about all this stuff. And something's just telling me that Wes maybe not dead, even though everything's pointing to it, and they're trying to make us think a certain thing. I think there's a way that maybe possibly he isn't. What are your thoughts on it? Maybe I'm crazy.
You are crazy, but it's a possibility. I'm not really sure. I mean, I hope he's not, Love that guy to death. We need to keep him on.
I know, right?
No Gryffindor. Yes.
I tell you, it was definitely something.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait until what month is this? September? Is that when it comes back?
Probably probably about September or so. I would say it's going to be quite interesting. So I think we'll leave it on that note there. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, definitely hit me up on ashsaidit.com. You can email me info@ashsaidit.com. If you need to hit up Ro, definitely shoot me an email info@ashsaidit.com, and I'll make sure that she gets it and replies back to y'all. Ro, any last words on this season of How to Get Away with Murder?
Yeah, everybody have a safe and wonderful weekend.
All right. Sounds like a bet. All right, you guys, I love you to pieces. Of course, this weekend, all my AT aliens, you can tune in on Charter Cable 183 for Ashby TV. Yes, it goes down, but if you've happened to miss an episode of Ashby TV, shame upon you. Shame upon you, but there is hope. All right? So you can go to ashsaidit.com. That is ashsaidit.com right now, and you can download Ashby TV. You can watch it right there on the website. Episode 1 and 2 are up and running. Episode 3 and 4 are coming up. We put out new episodes every single month. So look forward to new episodes, new stuff. And I love you guys regardless of every single thing that you go through in life. Know that you are capable. You can do it. All right? Anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, look them in the face and say, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. Because that's what we're doing this for. We're doing this for the history books. Doing this to make a difference. And we're doing this out of love. I love you guys. Deuces.
Want to jumpstart your day with a little motivation? Download the Ash Said It Daily podcast on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Play, or Stitcher. Ash Brown gets you pumped up and ready to conquer the day. Search Ash Said It Daily on any of those platforms and find out why the Netherlands, Germany, and even Japan tune in daily.